development team on board.
All right.
We've got work to figure out what we want.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that part out. So,
It's late, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Pizza Cottage is a place.
so do you mind if let me get him started?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, we want to thank, we want to welcome Josh from Neat. He's a real neat guy. That joke just never gets old.
Yeah, he's never heard that.
Never gets old for me. We are thrilled. A couple of years ago, I learned about Neat, and I bought actually I have 2 bars in my Neat video bars in my district, and we were always hoping that maybe there'd be a way that we could provide a discount for our members to be able to get this great product in their facilities. And at FETC, I was thrilled that they had a booth there. So I was had a chance to talk with them a little bit, and then the person I was talking with actually had a baby, and there's been some changes in their organization. But I'm thrilled that that has now led us to Josh, who is our representative for this group. And with Josh and with Neat and CDWG, we do have a nice little package available for all OhioDLA members that we are now extending over to our ITCs to be able to then extend to your schools as well. So Josh is connected here to talk a little bit about their products and the product lines that they have. I was thrilled with the video bars, and I said, well, I'm not so I'm okay without having the panel. And then they sent me a demo and a frame, and gosh darn it, I bought them both. So I'm a big fan of their products, and thrilled to be able to introduce Josh to you. And Josh, we're recording this, and we'll be sending this out over to our membership after we're done here. But we'll let you take over the show for a minute.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you, ODLA, for a few moments of your time to present to you today. And I didn't set this up, but my computer just gave me the blue screen to reboot. Have you ever had that happen right before your presentation?
Oh, sad computer.
Yeah. So I won't be giving you death by PowerPoint or anything like that, but Paul, if you don't mind, I'll share the beautiful deck I was going to share with you after the call today.
Sure.
But if any of you are going to ISTE in New Orleans, we will be there. The booth will also have products. Well, come see me. I'll be there. Look forward to seeing you there. But what I'd like to do is show you a couple of our products today, and that's one of the benefits. Even if your computer's being cranky, you don't actually need a device to operate any of our systems. That's the beautiful thing about the Neat product. Everything's built in, from the camera, the microphones, the speakers, the compute. You don't need all the special cabling. You don't have to have a separate computer or anything like that to operate our products. And really, we were born through what we've been through over the last couple of years through the pandemic. And while Neat is only a 3-year-old company, our founders and our engineers, they come from companies like Tandberg, from companies like Cisco. If you remember the first virtual meeting, the Tandberg T3 system, this big, bulky, it took up an entire room for all the computers and everything else to be in that room, hundreds of thousands of dollars to put something like that. Well, at Neat, we have 5 of the 6 engineers that developed the Tandberg T3 system. So when we met with Eric, the CEO of Zoom, he came to us because he looked at all the different manufacturers that were out there as everybody was trying to figure things out through the pandemic, and say, hey, look, none of the other manufacturers offer a product that really aligns to our roadmap for future offerings and innovations that they had. So our founders created the Neat bar. And while I can't show you a beautiful PowerPoint, I can show you the simple product. Nice, clean aesthetics. But this has everything built into the one unit. We offer the bar, and then we also offer a Bar Pro. The bar is made for smaller spaces, up to 10 people. It'd be ideal in that space that you're in today. But this has 5 microphones and a beamform array. So as sound is hitting the bar, it can distinguish between background noise and the human voice. We've got a 12 megapixel camera right here in the center with 12 times digital zoom to be able to zoom in. I'm going to flip it over so you can see the ports on the back. There we go. You can see you have a single power cord on the right. You've got Ethernet, which we always prefer Ether for connectivity because that's the most reliable, but it is a wireless device. You don't have to have it cabled in for connection. But you have two HDMI outputs, so single display or dual display. You also have an HDMI input if you wanted to go old school and use that. We also have USB-C. This actually was just activated this week because when we came to market with this product, we wanted something that was very simple to use, native for Zoom environments. This is also native for Teams rooms as well. But we just activated the USB-C because we realized, and we've heard from customers, like yourselves, since inception, that what about those customers are using Google Meets or some other platform? So today you can use any of our products that we're talking about today, regardless of what the platform is. But if you're using a Zoom rooms or Teams rooms, the products will work natively and have all that functionality within those devices. So that's the bar. The Bar Pro is made for more of a larger space, and you can go up to triple screens. The Bar Pro would be ideal for a space that's about 20 by 33, 25 to 30 people. But again, you're talking about a power cord and a cable going to your displays, and that's really it. The device is actually powered with our Neat pad, which is right here. It's a 10-inch full color display, and I had to unhook my bar, so it's actually showing blank right now. But it's dual purpose, so you can also use that as a scheduler. You wouldn't really use this in the classroom as a scheduler, but in a conference space like you're in today, somebody could walk by. They can see if it's a green light, the room's available. Red light means that there's folks in the room. They can also view information like how many persons are in the room. It would actually show you that information. But the Neat pad is what actually controls the bar. And you'll see there is a cable. It's a PoE, Power over Ethernet. It's not actually attached to the bar. It communicates with the bar wirelessly. But that's how you start and stop your virtual meetings, have controls with video, those type of things. I'll take a break before talking about the board and the frame and show you some of the features of the product. What you see right now is what we call auto framing. So as that instructor is moving around the room, or if you're using a Neat device in that room right now, as Paul got up and moved around, that camera would actually follow that person, and it's not looking at my face. I'm going to turn around just so you can see that. You see, I have no hair, and I'm envious of your hair. I love your hair, Lee. I wish I could grow that. That looks awesome. But that auto framing follows that human profile, and I say that because today some folks are still wearing masks and those type of things. But that's nice for folks on that other end to feel like they have a place at that table. Or if you think about the student, the teacher could be moving around, utilizing the board or the bar, any of our products. And it could follow where that teacher is for instruction.
And Josh, real quick, I'm just going to interject for just a second. What's also nice, you've got the tethered Neat pad, but then if you have an iPad or an Android device, you can also install the Zoom Room app, which will then give you full functionality of it. So in my situation, what I do is I have, for the Neat bar that's connected to just a television, I keep that at the front of the room. If for some reason the classroom teacher is late, the kids can actually start the class by clicking on their session time. But we keep the iPad available for the teacher to be able to be mobile within the room. And the OS operating needs on that Zoom Rooms is like 1.6 or something crazy like that. So even iPad that you think you want to throw away, you can use for this. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. That's a great point. And I always point out that it's a purpose-built device. It comes with the mounts. You can mount it to the wall or a side mount as well. But I say it's purpose-built in that if you have an iPad or some type of tablet, sometimes those get legs and walk. With this, there is no other purpose for it other than to control that bar or that device, or to purchase a separate pad to use as a scheduler. The pad comes with the bar and the Bar Pro because the bar won't actually do anything because there's no computer required for this. So the pad actually does everything. And I will mention that we provide all the mounts for our bar and Bar Pro. So This one I actually have at my desk on my dual monitor, so I just use a snap-on. But we also offer a VESA mount, so you can mount it above the displays, below the displays, or mount it to the wall. And that's all included. Everything you need is in the box. And when you open the box, it gives you a slip of paper that tells you to plug in your pad, because all of your instructions are on the pad. The next thing it's going to ask you is, how would you like to mount it? If you want to mount it to the wall or to the monitors, and it'll walk you through step by step how to mount it. It's really simple. And then you put in your IP information or your wireless connection information, and then asks you, do you want to use this as a Zoom device or for Teams rooms? You can choose. So some folks will actually, they have a blend within their district. So some conference spaces like you're in, maybe it's a Zoom rooms, another space maybe for Teams. And these solutions are great outside of the classroom as well, for continuing education, to be able to put in a room like you're having there, where folks that aren't there can feel like they have a seat at the table. This is not a feature that you would probably want to use in the classroom, but in the space that you're in today, equity within that meeting to make the folks that are at home or wherever they're working from feel like they're part of that meeting. So as folks are in the meeting, our AI and our technology actually looks at the room, and it will detect other people that are in the room and give everyone their own space within the room. So you can see it's picking up this gentleman over here. I'm going to tilt Pam a little bit more this way.
Wow.
They're in a big open room, so it's easy for the devices to work there. I'm in another office, but you can see it's getting everyone their own square, their own equity in the room. And even if I'm sitting down and those could be standing up or whatever, I'm in my own screen, and the camera will actually put us all at the equal eye level to give everyone their own space, which is pretty cool.
Is that embedded in the Neat, or is that inherent to the Zoom room settings once you install it? Because I'm sitting here thinking that mitigates some of what I'm finding with our current solution for my ASL students. It's one teacher to many students, single classroom, and sometimes my teachers don't have enough real estate to see them signing. This fixes that if it's inherent to the Neat bar in the classroom, not the Zoom room on my teacher side.
Yeah, so this is actually a patented technology from Neat, and you'll notice, I'll get the camera kind of close so you can see.
Yes.
It's a digital camera. There is no zoom or moving parts or anything like that. Everything that you're seeing, it's digital. So I can move around. I can come over here by Pam, and if I'm close to her, it actually put us in the same screen because it sees us together. So that will do zones. So with the Neat bar, you can have up to 10 zones. That's why we recommend it for up to 10 people. But if you're in your space close to somebody else, it'll put you in the same zone as that person. The Neat Bar Pro can do 20 to 25 zones. So within a classroom, you may not want to have that activated. You may just want to use the auto framing where it's following the teacher. But in a meeting kind of like you're in, if you have that feature, you can actually see everybody's face. If you're at home, you can see your body reaction. You can see if somebody's not paying attention or looking at their computer, that type of thing, because you see their space. So that's pretty nice. I'm not picking on you. It's just using that as an example.
No, it's just processing the information.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Solves multiple problems.
right.
Another feature that you have that's really appropriate in a classroom, but a lot of times in a conference space, we describe it as if you have a glass wall that folks walk past and those type of things. The camera is looking for the human profile. So if somebody walks past that glass wall, it's going to track that person and follow them as they're going up around. So with Neat's boundary feature, you can actually set what boundary you want that camera to look at, whether it's 10 feet or 15 feet out or across. Within a classroom, it may be a zone that the teacher is on screen, but once the teacher steps outside that zone, they disappear. The camera doesn't follow them after that point. And it's just a view of the larger room, if you will.
Are those features remotely controllable? Let's say you've got a whole field of these devices. Can you manage all of those options remotely?
So we wanted to make it really simple for that end user, so they can just walk into, the room, start their meeting, and, go. You don't have to have, that feature on. You can disable that feature, turn that feature off, but we really leave it up to the end user whether they want to be able to use that functionality or not. The Neat board is an all-in-one system, so it's everything that we talked about in addition to a beautiful 65-inch display, 4K high definition screen, has anti-glare, anti-touch, built into that. I realize not every classroom needs, something like that, but we recommend something like this in the classrooms at a 45-degree angle, kind of in the corner, gives you a full 120-degree field of view, so that way they can see everything in the classroom, whether that instructors at the smart board or Promethean board, that type of thing. And they can use this for, their virtual meetings to be able to have that functionality within the classroom. You also have whiteboarding on this. I'm going to stand up here so that the camera will actually come closer, but this is actually what your control panel looks like on the pad when your computer doesn't crash or anything like that. But you can see my different meetings. I can just click into whichever meeting. You can do new meeting, join a meeting. I'm going to choose whiteboard just to show you some of those features. Show you classic just because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Zoom is really up in their whiteboard game, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. With our latest update, you can put Post-its, draw lines and those type of things. But it's nice when you're presenting to something on the other side. They can see everything I'm writing. They can also participate in that conversation if they want to. So you can choose the color. You can do auto shapes if you're trying to draw circles and triangles, but you don't draw them really well. It can do that for you. A lot of different functionality like that. So it makes it more multi-purposeful, within the classroom. If you're sharing a presentation, you can make annotations on, that as well. I know when we were growing up, you just had, the chalkboard or whatever, or the whiteboard. And even today, folks are using a whiteboard, kind of like the one that's behind you. Once you draw something on there, everybody got it, and then you erase it, and it's nice and clean.
Picture of it.
Yeah, that's right. With this, as well as Zoom's new whiteboard feature that's available on this, it's endless. You finish whatever your presentation is, whatever thought process, methodology, and then you simply save it. You can send it out to a JPEG to all the students or the team members, so that way everybody has all of that brainstorming, all of the data that you discussed. The only other product I was going to show you today is the Neat Frame. I'm actually using it right now, so I can't show it to you without flipping over to this device. But I'll send you an image of that through the PowerPoint. But essentially, imagine a full color touchscreen display. It's a landscape 15-inch display, and it's an all-in-one system, kind of like what you think about with a board, but it's your image display. It's so nice because you don't actually need your computer to do the presentation, but when you do need to use your computer, you just kind of use that as a companion device. But it allows me to see the entire presentation, everybody that's in the conversation, outside of an executive office, superintendent's office, principal's office. Think about it as a virtual receptionist, or you put these in the library. Students can put their Bluetooth headphones in and have a conversation with their guidance counselor or with a counselor, those type of things. Within higher education, we're seeing big demand for these in libraries and students areas where they can have office hours with that professor as a subject matter expert. If you need to talk to somebody in IT or admissions, they can just walk up, select that department, and whoever's monitoring that block of time, they can come on the screen and they can have that virtual dialogue. So why ODLA? CDW has a contract with Omnia, which is fantastic. It makes it a contract vehicle that every school district can utilize. And ODLA, by default, every school district in Ohio is a member of that, so they can take advantage of the special program that CDW has put together in conjunction, in partnership with ODLA. So right now, and I'm speaking as a manufacturer, not as CDW, but what they agreed to was a 10% discount to every school district in Ohio that is an ODLA member on Neat products. And if you're working on refreshing multiple classrooms or spaces, within your district, please contact your CDW rep so that way they can look at and see if there's special pricing available for quantities greater than one.
So Josh,
Yep.
Rebecca had a great comment in the chat, but I'm sure it just like for us, it flashed very quickly and it's gone. Would you mind repeating your question, Rebecca?
No problem. Can you display a split screen of the near and far videos? Because if I'm a teacher in a room, I have my kiddos, typically how the systems are, like a Cisco system, I can see myself, so I know what I'm sending out, but I also need to see my far. Is it possible, and how many splits can it support?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think a lot of school districts in Ohio are using the Zoom platform. And when you're utilizing Zoom, in that feature, it does show you the entire room, and then it shows you the individual screen. So the auto framing and things like that, that would be separate of that big picture, if you will. So on my screen, I can see Paul and the ODLA team within that room, but then I also see all the other thumbnails of everyone else. Does that answer your question? One thing that I did not talk about, but I want to touch on is a proprietary feature called Neat Sense, and it's built into all of our devices, whether it's a Neat pad, a bar, a board. But what that actually does is it's looking at air quality. It's looking at what is the temperature in the room, what is the CO2, how many persons are in the room. It doesn't recognize who is in the room because it's not doing facial recognition or anything like that. But it's also looking at VOCs, which is volatile organic compounds, which are chemicals, perfumes, those type of things. And a lot of times folks in facilities really appreciate that information because it's good, usable, historical information where they can look and see, why are we heating and cooling these spaces when there's nobody there? Perhaps it's on a weekend or it's after hours, but it gives them that historical data that they can use. And also when you're trying to schedule a space or you're walking by a conference room, kind of like right there, somebody can walk by and see that Neat pad on the wall and see, oh gosh, there's 4 people in that room. I'm not going to walk in right now. Oh, there's 5 people in that room now. So it's gathering that data and making that available for folks through the Zoom app or through Microsoft Teams. The other thing is when we design the products, we over-engineer and design for the future in our products. So as we do software updates, feature enhancements, we just push that out to our customers. There's no additional fee for that. It's something that we provide to all of our customers as long as you have the auto updates turned on your devices. So things that just went out on Monday of this week are the USB-C. We just activated that. That wasn't activated up until then. The frame that I'm talking to you on right now, we activated the Bluetooth functionality. Up until now, you had to plug in a headphone jack, but now you can utilize headphones, different enhancements with the speakers, with the microphones, those type of things. I like to say it's kind of like Tesla. When you buy the car, that's as antiquated as the car will ever be. One day you get in and drive and it goes a little bit faster. It's a little bit more efficient. It has different features that just appear, out of nowhere. And that's really the thought behind Neat was to make it a simple device that's simple to deploy and install, simple for the end user to use, but then to give everybody equity within that meeting and really differentiate from everything else that's out there. If you think about pre-COVID, you walk in a space kind of like you have there, and you'd have microphones on the ceiling, you'd have different cameras on the walls. Behind that screen that you're looking at, you'd see some type of a server or a computer. We simplified that by putting everything into this one appliance. So
Josh, we have several groups here representing larger groups, ITCs, ESCs, ed techs. If one of these groups were interested in kicking the tires on one of these devices in their facility, see it spin on their network, how do we go about making that happen? Well, warning though, once you get it in there, it's hard to send it back.
Yeah, we actually encourage that. We'd like to show our product, virtually to show some of the functionality, but then we want folks to try it. So If you're working on a project, whether it's classrooms or conference spaces, let's have a conversation about it. Let's show it to you virtually, and then let's send one out to you to kick the tires, as you say, for 30 days. If you don't like it, send it back. You get a refund, or actually, we don't actually bill you until after it's been there for 30 days. But a high percentage of the time when we send the product out, folks really like it and they deploy it. We do have product in stock at this time, so everything ships. So if you have your order in by 3 o'clock, it actually ships that day. So you'll have it really fast. And we really try to over deliver from the functionality and features once you unpackage the device for that out of box experience. But by getting that product really quickly, that's a great, the start off of the partnership, because we want to grow it with you. We understand your first order may be a couple devices, but what we often find is your customers quickly reorder, and normally that second order is 5 times what they originally ordered, and then they order 3 or 4 more times within the first 12 to 24 months. So if you have projects that are on the table right now for conference spaces, for classrooms, I ask you to reconsider, and let's look at the Neat way. Our product is in stock. It's very innovative. It's different than most everything else that's on the market, and we'd like to get it in your hands.
So Josh, they contact you for that? And if that's the case, I'll link your email address in the agenda for sites to be able to just click and move forward with it.
Yes, we need that right away.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's just josh.sizemore@neat.no. Yes, Lee.
Focus on Brush High School.
Yeah, before we let Josh escape, talk to me about, because we have 3 classrooms in the museum that are currently under construction, and we're romancing different companies to put some kind of giant monitor on the wall.
That's your problem.
Because they told us, no, you can't have your old school slate chalkboards anymore. You have to tear those out. If I'm teaching in that classroom and I want to be able to show the internet on that monitor and a document camera, because I'm doing a dissection and I want the kids to see what I'm doing in that dissection, and I want to use the super fancy zooming in on the kids, how does all that connect to that bar?
Yeah, so with the bar, you're just going to connect this to the displays you're using. So you can go as big or as little as you want with the displays. It doesn't matter. This is just plugged in via HDMI to those displays, and everything else is wireless through the pad. It's just like you're joining a Zoom meeting or a Google Meets or Microsoft Teams. All of that functionality. We prefer to use Zoom Rooms or Microsoft Rooms because you get that native experience. Using USB, you'll still have the functions I showed you, like auto framing and symmetry, but it's not going to be that native experience that you have with Zoom Rooms or Teams Rooms. Does that answer your question?
It does partially. So my other devices would then be connected, because you said there were 2 incoming HDMI in the back?
So we offer 1 HDMI input in the back, 2 output.
Oh, 2 up. Okay.
For dual monitors. Dual screens.
Gotcha. So everything that I would be wanting running like the document camera would have to be through basically 1 computer that was then connected to that bar. So all those other devices were going into the computer to that device.
So how do you do it today? Do you just use like a laptop and everything?
We don't have
plugged
anything in
into
our
that?
classrooms right now. We have slate chalkboards. So what we would
Okay.
So what we would do is we bought projectors, just plain old, I forgot what the NEO, I think, projectors that we could then connect our laptops to, but we had to connect the document cameras to the laptops to then go to the projector. That's what we were doing.
Okay. So in that scenario, you could utilize your laptop, which is your presentation device, to whatever that platform is, and plug in your document, camera, you're having that type of thing into your laptop, and you're just sharing that through the Neat bar onto the displays.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good question. But Paul and ODLA, thank you so much for your time. It's so nice to meet everybody. Happy to meet with any districts individually to show any of our products, share the innovations, those type of things. Please feel free to reach out. Always happy to be of help.
Righty, thank you so much, Josh. We really appreciate it. And I'm working on getting that link correctly into into our document. I put it as I'll clean that up here in a second. But
Thank you.
thank you so much. We look forward to having more neat experiences.
Oh, very good.
Thank you very
Very
much.
good.
I'll send you a couple slides as well, Paul.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Have a great
I'll
day.
forward that to everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Excellent. And then why don't we do a break on the recording again then? So that way we have a nice easy one that we can just throw out again to people for being able